catching different passes. What do you think that versatility is going to get to the offense next year?
To be honest with you, we just talk about being selfless players. Wherever you're needed, just make sure you know what you're doing so you get the job done. But it does bring versatility because you have guys that's played the slot and you play outside receivers. Guys that play outside receivers, they can play in the slot, because they know the offense now. And it does bring some versatility to what we can do offensively. And also, you just got to be selfish when we're doing it because we got some really good tight ends and backs in as well.
And Johnny shows consistently that he'll block you, and he'll block you into the first row if you're not careful. Yeah. What does that do for everybody in the group in terms of setting the standard for, even if the ball's not coming your way, you got to do the right thing on each and every play for the guy next to you?
Well, I think the guy that kind of started that was Michael Pittman. Just the physicality, and really want to, I can't say hurt anybody, but really want to be physical on the perimeter, and that's contagious. When you see him take a guy to the sideline, now Johnny sees it. It's like, hey, you're 6'7", he's not. Why are you not doing this? Now he does it every play now, because he takes pride in it because he sees his teammate out there challenging other guys, and like I said, it's contagious to see that. But I love it.
As somebody who's played at a really high level yourself, Johnny at times last year would make some unbelievably difficult catches, and then sometimes the easier ones, right, they would hit the ground. Yeah. What goes into that? Because that can't be a physical thing. That's probably mental, or what would you say?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say it because I just watched a couple of drops earlier today, watching self-scout. And that's the thing, like, we work on it. You see him working on it, like the Louisville game. Before the game, him and a couple other guys were working on low balls. Caught a low ball, home run post, over the top, low down his near hip, caught it. Florida game, Oklahoma game, same pass, 2 drops. So it's just the daily, just giving him encouragement. Because before, if he dropped a pass, he was, and I don't want to make anybody else sound bad or anything like that, but he just didn't have the confidence, and he wasn't given the confidence. And that's one of the things here. Like, I played with Peter Ward. He dropped the pass. I knew we were still going to go back to him. And he was going to catch the next one. And it's kind of been the same thing now. I'm not saying he's Peter Ward. So don't quote me on that. But just the encouragement, just letting him know, look, we're not going to give up on him. Everybody's going to drop a pass. I mean, that happens. I go out and catch the next one. He dropped the pass Oklahoma game. It was the first time I saw him come in and say, Coach, put me back in. Coach, put me back in. Just that confidence that he had at the last game of the season that really spoke volumes. Spoke volumes about where he's come and how far he's come to where he was before.
Speaking of Johnny, I know you probably, when he got here with that skill set, you're not sure if you're going to kind of get that second year with him. I guess, what did he talk to you about, kind of the why behind that, and how have you seen him kind of start? I know you haven't played football yet, but approach year 2 here.
You said the why behind?
Coming back.
Coming back? See, y'all got cameras on me, so I can't say what I really want to say. There's going to be a couple of yeah. No, just coming in, Johnny really wanted to come in and just get his feet wet, be consistent, learn the position, and be consistent. That was really the focus of him, because you saw him in the tour duty last year. Started off a little slow, then it's like, wow, like he could be a freak, but still you hadn't had the football pads on yet. So you really didn't know. Then you saw him come out, maybe drop a couple of passes. Then he started getting more and more confident about what he could do and his ability. And you saw him being more consistent kind of towards the end, and not in the spring game, but towards the end of, spring ball. And that was the focus coming in, just to be a consistent all-around receiver. Now the focus is, it really hadn't changed, because he wasn't as consistent as he wanted to be last year. And now you got to make those contested catches all the time. The great ones make those plays all the time. You don't really hear about the drops. So that's one of the things that we've talked about this all season, and wanting to be a student of the game, as well as studying more in the classroom to learn just the different techniques, to learn what a defense is trying to do to you, and I think that's been the focus this all season, to try to help him be a better football player.
I know with Winston, it's been, I mean, you talk to everyone about just how impressed they've been with his approach to what's, I mean, an intense, long recovery. I guess after going through all that, I guess how excited, how happy are you for him, seeing him come out the other end? I mean, we saw him yesterday, and just, I mean, as he kind of looks like the player y'all recruited again.
Right. Well, I'm proud of Winston. He's done an unbelievable job off the football field, on the football field, helping guys. Just his approach to the way he's carried himself, the way he's responded to the situation that he's just come out of, and he's responded on the football field in the tour of duty. You know, pushing, trying to get better, trying to get the little details down. Also encouraging other guys to get better, you know, and to finish. So just to see him come back and you know, finish in different drills has been very encouraging. You know, for myself and the staff, it has been encouraging for him to see himself come back and feel good again.
How good can Hakeem and Vendravius be as they mature, and then what's the first step to get them to where they're going?
Well, the first step was just erase the stars from next to their name, you know, and then, like no stars now, you know. But I've been pleased with both of those guys. You know, when you get a young guy in the program, you know, you got to get those guys to become what you believe in, you know, as a staff, as a program, and not become them. You know, so you start off from square one because they were the men in high school. You know, everybody's patting them on the back, doing those different things. And when they got here, it's like, get back on the line. You know what I'm saying? Get your foot behind the line, touch the line, you know, do those little things. You know, but you're trying to teach them the basic fundamentals. Not really start with football, but look, this is how you become a professional off the football field. And what you do off the football field, whether in the academics, your personal life, that can carry over to on the football field. You know, just being on time, being 10 minutes early, being 5 minutes early, you know, just responding in a group text message, be the first one. And those guys have been doing that. You know, so I'm really looking forward to what they can do this spring. Because I do think they're really good football players, you know, but like I said before, it's just starting all over again, and you never assume that they know anything, you know, so everything that you do as a coach, you know, you start from square one, whether it's defensive football, you know, alignment, assignment, footwork, you know, just your coaching and your teacher progression, you know, so just starting those things over, the emphasis in the room, you know, so just starting with those different things that help them become good football players.
Last one for me real quick is last year, the communication between Jordan and the receivers, you mentioned in the beginning, being where they need to be.
Right.
How do you think that went, especially the adjustments maybe after the snap or based on coverages, and what do they need to improve on this year?
Well, I do think the guys did a good job this past season of communicating, and that's the most I've seen the receivers and the quarterback since I've been here communicate as well as they did, and as much as they did. I'll say that. This year, this all season, when those guys have been working, I mean, I know it's not summertime, but they've been throwing a little bit, and they've been communicating with each other. Hey, what do you think? What do you want me to do when I see this? What do you expect me to be when I see that? You know, and those guys have been communicating with that, because the last thing that you want as a receiver is the quarterback back there holding the ball. You know, if you're not running the right route, if you're not being where you're supposed to be, or if your route is too short. You know, so just having an understanding, just the emphasis of what we teach here, route running principles in the passing game. We got to know that, so we make sure we're always on point for Travis.
You were a part of some really good teams during your playing career here. Mm-hmm. We talked to Coach Travell. He talked about, I mean, it's great to have expectations like kind of y'all are starting to have now coming off the 2022 season, but that the expectations inside have to kind of be even bigger than they are kind of what outside people. I guess being a part of that from the inside, what can you speak to about, I mean, the daily focus and the level of pressure on yourself it takes to play at that level as a team?
You know, just having the opportunity to play here at Florida State and play at the highest level, meaning right now in a national championship game, really about 3 of them. So you do have that experience of the expectations, and you got a great team coming back, or you got this coming back, you got that coming back, you know, and everybody's kind of patting you on the back until the bullets start flying, you know, and you got to be able to understand, and you got to be able to respond to and handle failure, you know, and disappointment like we've had in the past, and success. You know, we got to be able to deal with both. So how are you teaching them to do both of those things? You know, and just having that experience I think it helps those guys out in that room because I've been in that room before. Of falling short, and that really didn't feel good. But how did I respond to it? And that's the lesson that you got to teach those guys. How we're responding to get to where we want to be and get to where we want to go. So I think having to be there and done that and playing at the next level, it helps guys because they want to get to where you've been. And I want those guys to be better and go further than what I did. So I'm just excited for them.
How nice a problem is it for you coming into the spring with your position group? It seems like you have far more kind of players worthy of playing time than maybe playing time to go around. I guess how nice a problem is that to have, and how important is the spring for kind of sorting some of that out going into the fall real preseason camp?
Well, I mean, you always want depth, going into spring ball and obviously going into training camp because there's going to be some attrition. Guys get injured, guys get hurt. And that's kind of what happened to us this past season. We had a few guys. Ja'Kai Douglas missed, a few games. Darion Williamson missed some games. Winston missed the entire. So it's very important to have the depth, especially at that position because we do so much running. And we do have some depth now, and still. I'm a receiver coach, so I always want more depth. So you asked me that question, I'm gonna say I want more depth. But it is encouraging to go into a spring and then eventually a season with the depth that has some experience. That's very important that the experience is coming back. And we still got to continue to learn and get better.